Hello and welcome to this final tutorial for your EDM project, how to add your own melody in to your EDM mix. You'll need to probably have two melodies, one for the build up section and one for the drop section. Now, what you're going to need for this video is your sound trap, but you're also going to need these rhythm cards, and I'm going to provide them. They're going to be on island for you in goal 4. Okay, those rhythm sticks are going to be very important in a second. Now, the first thing we need to do is grab a synthesizer. To create a new instrument, you click Add New Track on the left-hand side, and then we're going to get a synthesizer. Now, you can use other instruments for your melody. You could even sing if you'd like, but the synthesizer is probably a really good way to add a melody over the top of our EDM track. We're also going to choose a lead one rather than a pad or a rhythmic synth. The reason for this is a lead one will kind of cut through the mix. It's going to sound like a melody, basically. They're designed to sound like melodies. I don't know why, but I'm going to choose the meow lead. It sounds a bit like a cat. All right, so you can choose to use that, but you can always change them by clicking on the instrument. So, as I explained in my last video, D major so we can find C here. So the next note after C is D. And if you click on a note, the letter will show up. So we've got D, E, and now what changes is the F to the F sharp, and the C to the C sharp. So the only notes you need to change are F to F sharp and C to C sharp, compared to just playing a C major scale. Here's a D major scale. So, now you can choose if you want to use the whole scale, but I've found that either using just the first 3 notes can be a really good way of working with the scale. But if you want to add some more extension, use the 5th and the 6th notes. So do, re, mi, sol, and la. Using a combination of that will be fantastic. Remember, if you're in, you can also use lower la, which will be the start of your scale if you're doing it in B minor. Okay, so for B minor and D major, it's going to be the exact same. Okay. They're going to have the exact same scale. So using la, do, re, mi, sol, la can work really well as well. Mine is in B minor, so I'm going to be using those notes. All right. Now let's make a melody for our verse. Now I could do anything, but the thing is, a melody doesn't work without rhythm. So with these rhythm cards, they don't have any notes with them, but what you can do is choose your own rhythm. So if you can see here, I'm just going to choose, for example, there's so many in here, and they go from pretty basic to pretty complex. So I'm going to choose this first one here, and this goes ta, 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 te, ta. All right, now if I was to play that, it might, just on one note, it might sound like this. But maybe I could use some other notes. Sounds pretty interesting. I might even just record just that one thing. Here we go. I'm going to record it. Now, I didn't get that quite right. What you can actually do when you're recording is slow down the tempo to help you out, and then change it back later. So I might just change it to 80. Actually, don't do that. Don't do that. But what you might need to do is go back in afterwards by clicking on the piano roll, and you can actually change the note to where you want it to be. So it was up here. Now I've just put it back down there where I'd like it to be. Now if I listen to that, yeah, it doesn't sound half bad. So that's just that, and we're going to get rid of all the extra that shouldn't be there. That's maybe the first part of my melody. Now remember, your melody can be longer than that, so I'm going to choose another one. How about this one here? This one goes ta 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 te. Okay, now if I explored maybe just the first couple of notes here of the scale, I might use in this second half go and explore further up, maybe just to make it a bit more balanced. Make sure when you're using your melody that you use the root note or the bottom note of your scale at least once. Okay, because that will make it sound like it's in the right key. So if you're in B minor, make sure you've got at least one B in there. Or if you're using D major, make sure you have one D. All right, so my rhythm is ta, 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 te. I might go... but that doesn't have a B. How about that? All right, now this is going to be hard to achieve. Now remember, you can use the fingerboards if you want, but I'm just going to try and do it with the mouse. I didn't quite get that in time, so I can just go in and edit that so that it is in time. That might sound more like what I was aiming for. Yeah, great. Now don't be afraid to repeat rhythms, that's okay. It's definitely okay to repeat rhythms. Repetition is good and good for your soul, so use that sparingly. Now you don't need to repeat this melody the entire way through. You might just have it come in once, or even twice, maybe a bit later on. So I might leave a bit of a gap and then just have it there. So let's have a listen. It sounds pretty good. Make sure you have it maybe slightly closer to the build-up as well. But that's how you can create a melody. Then you do the exact same thing over here for your drop section. So use the rhythm sticks, choose one, see if you can say that rhythm first, then decide to use some notes that you'd like to use. If you're stuck, just use one note. Just use the first note of your scale. If you can go beyond that, use do, re, mi, or la, or sol. Any of those will work. Okay, so those are the notes you can use. D, E, F sharp, A, and B are the notes that you can use, and it will sound really good. And the final thing is to make sure you have at least one note that is in the key. So say it's B minor, you've got to have at least one B in there. Okay, make sure you've got all those things in there, and you'll make some really good melodies. And that's it.